I was on for you, Sompa from in some church for Pensacola and Ranch Babu Sassan Bia. Ye tobu to Taudo and a Sababa ye Jumana, Nina Ejane, or so for Sikasan and Tutuaso, ye Rakano for Yatan in Samoa, what the Kotu Jamra speak a few months. And you Rakana Sansuas is Sudia was a gunner for Modam, Nana Frisina Hano dear, and Yadia Bino or Bayasakai. And now Bata and Mrs. Osram and Penin and other Danko Kufor, say free senior high school, no Swabas Samoa, one Yaku could draw, no one to Anamon as they say, baby, and Yamaka and Koye cry. I don't go my one more my gun, I'm not sure the fear one of my friends I'm trying for share with ye. One was some cone, Nadian some, and I want more brush. I don't come on, Sram and Penin and other Danko Kufor say, say you don't put young Crumpaya dum, I'm a papa medicine, of any quaja what to dear Bienano, Wakako to Swa, one best Renwa da Sada Braka, one for Papanidi, and Kobona no Wedie in J. Na yera Benito Owusubio enso de ato na de hia won watch man wa biaja north abaton peso so anim wasen kakra won makwan won betumi ayama won abuzan for this year one man so asama so ne ene ese wani ne nsese ye ka kire wo twoboye ye ni abre kwada ya wo mo se ye de ohene bi abakro mu hono mo no ohene ne tena enye yida abuzan for na santam ye bo amane free ampa me number 1 Sir Janabia be an animal for them paying for Drogaka 1 month as you no. Quan for penny or crony was say 1 month quite da, Emma Janano, and what this year moncoso. Nania Sadar sorry, yeno, as somewhat done, a dear some and ecoso. I was on for when you are full floppy in Yakasi and any Sakasia, baby, will be an Umbre ba near day above some war. While Jen Chenu Susie, Bonadianicia, or Facebook Junction, so Sompa 93.1 FM, Sompa 93.1 FM, Jen Chenu Susie, all the bar. Facebook usiye honoma yegusua ye beka sende mamo no ye beken ka dia mamo odu also so awo like na o share na chesi yedwudwam e de mawa ne sa ye ne ayeso manwumrei na ya bo amalibi aboga me ne obi ade a twede ene ma bogu hu akosia ejewa kwade buati abuzan for yenye bre na fe nsem no mobrodo ntwe yenkwai na yekotutu na srani abasam fama ye de mo hyase e de efrim na sebe gefie mene Ghana ye so for we sika sam no ntutu ye so e komra sebe gefie mu ane ne yekosi brone ka ne se media budget review no wo de ekoto mra sebe gefo na nim na ogusu a wo bobon nsem no so no momo ni chese papa de wo kosa no anifufuo no se efri ni tiri su ko sini na so na ne ye hyireyi na azayi wo kaba ku no okotu wo kanu okotu azaya na ni ti se deda ne kon ho ano no na opanika no foriato ogusua media budget review no oboboso ede chiro my Ghana de hye sane amamra constitution ya amamra ni nchama no echemu pefe no woka eno koye ne se nyankopon ya dom ama be akonya sika bia o my Ghana ya kwantempa hodo ye ba be hyase na yesiesie ne ntokro ababedidam wo mo kono makwa akosiesie na enko yesusu no wo mo hwese contractors be kwa akogina so no ma ye ne kama ede amagana ma de hye titiru ene efritama ekwankra pumpre mantem no mo ene tama moto we no suna no ene ode so se so don for ya dom na sa ban timi yi sa akwa yi nyina wi a ene etobutu no ebesa ba se beye na ban betima tete ka wabo ewo my Ghana ya kwantempa hodo so ye rakano foriata sindi osibubo ne nsem so fa ye kakra ni
Mr. Speaker, under the Ministry of Roads and Highways Public-Private Partnership Program for Road Infrastructure, the design, build, finance, operate, and maintain Accra-Tema Motorway and Extension PPP project 27.7 kilometers is at the procurement stage. Site work is expected to commence in September 2022. The government of Ghana has made a strategic decision in line with the Public-Private Partnership Act 2020 to procure the Accra-Tema Motorway and Extensions project through GIF, with a mandate to deliver a gift-led PPP financing solution where maximum funds are raised from the market, but majority ownership of the project remains of GIF on behalf of the Ghanaian government. The draft concession agreement between GIF, the Ministry of Roads and Highways, is currently under review by GIF, Ministry of Roads and Highways, the Office of the Attorney General, and the Ministry of Finance. When completed, the concession agreement is expected to be approved by the PPP Committee, Cabinet and Parliament. The completed road will be tolled. Mr. Speaker, all new.
For your Rakeno for Riata, so for Sikasano and Tutus on the attending can weigh a media budget reviewer, not or day to Jamra Swig film.
For Babin was also to us so church and was a gunner for Bedia dance here. Sir, a brabant Robertana Conyaso and Yamianim New Washa, the new Maguaquemo pa. A Fabi, why ye Ghana beyond a dan watcher, say bedroom may be crano. While my Ghana young conquer for my son Coella Sulala and conquer Sessa Diabim. Quasses say, a yadia kunkuma wo. Ye basin se wie mo COVID-19 afimpi mienu ne aduonu e basan ka wiase amansa nyina sika sembe kunkuma de hye nom ye o maga na yensa ekan ya de na na ke nim se COVID ne krampo no to ba betwa ama wiase amansa ho ato wonom ye nkwatenkwate ye se Russia ne Ukraine wo mo so de ntokwa afunya mu nya sem keto akora ama semeka se de nuane ene ho akwatwe e wo wiase amansa wo se no na ye bibia menne wo maga na IMF nso yenso ye kobi.
Let me take this opportunity to discuss the issue of our return to the IMF. Yes, I know this government assured the nation of a Ghana beyond aid, and our plans and programs for economic transformation have been designed to achieve just that. And indeed, I did say that Ghana would not embark on an IMF program. We did not just say it, we also took measures towards the attainment of that objective, including the passage of the Fiscal Responsibility Act and instituting a number of irreversibility measures, and also launching the Ghana Cares Obatampa program for economic revitalization and transformation. Unfortunately, unprecedented global developments, Mr. Speaker, over the past 2 years, especially in these last 6 months, have really and truly disrupted our efforts. Governments across the world have had to change course to tackle the current crisis. Government that less than a year ago were busily talking about energy transition and green and cleaner fuels have gone back to firing their coal plants. Government that are known for low taxes are now raising taxes to tackle growing deficits. These are not ordinary times, not for Ghana, not for Africa, and certainly not for the whole world. Right, Honorable Speaker, let us all acknowledge that the situation we are experiencing now is different. The global context we find ourselves in is the first of its magnitude in the Fourth Republic and even before that. It is therefore disappointing when people want to pretend that these developments are purely domestic. It is trite knowledge, Mr. Speaker, that global developments, including the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine invasion, have really undermined and disrupted most economies. Governments across the globe are facing strikes and demonstrations as workers see their standards of living plummeting, prices of goods and services jumping to heights not seen in over 2 generations. An International Monetary Fund staff team visited Accra from July 6 to 13, 2022 to assess the current economic situation and discuss the broad lines of our government's enhanced domestic program that could be supported by the fund. At the conclusion of the mission, Speaker, the statement by the team lead correctly captured where we are and why we are where we are. He said, Ghana is facing, and I quote, Ghana is facing a challenging economic and social situation amid an increasingly difficult global environment. The fiscal and debt situation has severely worsened following the COVID-19 pandemic. At the same time, investors' concerns have triggered credit rating downgrades, capital outflows, loss of external market access, and rising domestic borrowing costs. In addition, the global economic shock caused by the war in Ukraine is hitting Ghana at a time when the country is still recovering. From the COVID-19 pandemic shock and with limited room for maneuver. These adverse developments have contributed to slow economic growth, accumulation of unpaid bills, a large exchange rate depreciation, and a surge in inflation.
Tiboni ayam fentu bata wa magani ya sunya diede nampa wei ayo magana photo sanfo ye rakeno frata IMF wa mine ye kono ena na obro nsem so
na ye rakeno frata na no si ya fa kwanya Says oh my Ghana ye nam so de kwa IMF kwesi kokko ho ni akwa na chawa sre no se ba bia ye gina de so ama magia ye wu no papa ne bobo so wie ya ene dom kuma wo mra se be film so yes ene wonsum na ne be wo no nsu bu a wo se bonye se bia pete wo so ne ene pa away pa away emedu ba bi kra ne dom kuma ne nsemo a no mo ka nyina ne se papa na di o mayi hwamo enti so mpa nim guase a wonfo na dwuma nto no mo se eye so afo hosi kasa no ntutie so yenkoti adom kuma no se ne umusi to nwum edija yira keno furi atakwan. Abzafo way yemra spejafo no madane class 1 school nkwada no mo nsa nyina buru table so pa resign pa resign kenofuri ata eno no mdi we man no sese ne odo my Ghana sikasema ba bedroi on peneto mpene no a won fa adwuma nto no nkotena fi enkudi ne yire aduane
se obekwa akodi ne yire aduane na wase wo kirekire budget ni mu wie ansa na obekwa awakọ na fa ba bi fa no free senior high nei ni padodo no asusu bribi sese nke betumi a abanu hwe na fe wonya sakraye wo mu no eno so ka bibi edefa ho na wo kire se wo hwe sene mampanyi nado bra wo bre wo tempentenkwa na wasawi atawo se yire so pastor wo ma Ghana de enwumahia won toto na setitiru ene nkodanke to amu ade badantamo na wo de awura mu akonto aso ene suapo ahodo wo ma do bibia ye free e wo ma Ghana mu no a free senior ha no abande ba ye no enya de obeyen sakraye ne no wa ni china ne nyina ne ye nweta so obehwe no ye de obetumi sene beya wo ma enwumahia so ebetumi agina so.
Basic, secondary, and tertiary education are not under review. We'll continue to fund them, we'll continue to improve them, we'll continue to create efficiencies. Mr. Speaker, and eliminate waste. Mr. Speaker, thanks to the taxpayers, since January, 3.6 million people in 10,832 public basic schools have been fed with one hot meal every school going there in the first half of the year under the Ghana School Feeding Program. The program provides employment for caterers, about 32,496. School feeding program remains an important initiative that keeps our children in school, provide jobs and income for several people, mainly women, and avoid stunting. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that work has commenced in our various stages of construction in 87 out of the 111 sites earmarked to Agenda 111 project. For the majority of contractors at various sites, we are well on course to bridge the health inequality gap and strengthen the health system nationwide. Furthermore, the following health infrastructure projects are expected to be completed by end year 2022. These are construction of one district hospital and 5 polyclinics in Western Region, Kontombra and Suame, Lubu, Wasa, Dunkwa, Bogoso, and Mpoho. Expansion and equipping of 4 selected facility projects in Aburi, Kom, Tetekwashi, Chimpi, and Atibi. And equipping of Upper East Volgatanga Regional Hospital Phase 2 and completion of 37 military completion of a military hospital, Mr. Speaker, in Kumasi. Mr. Speaker, it is important to recall that the timely intervention of the government to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic preserved lives and livelihoods of all Ghanaians. The economic measures staved off a recession and have sustained the momentum of economic recovery from 0.5% in 2020 to 5.4% in 2021.
Abusiafo wei aye wo ma Ghana photo sanfo ne fa no free senior high no ho no na wabo emu nchimu
na free such as insensem ya na batan wo Ghana mema say Sreman Penny na Nadu Danko Akufo-Addo wachima PSA be ma boda se free such as ne betimi a he wo ma batan no kwan na se yesimpo ne tekunum eno betimi dia boa ama free such as ne gane na so a wo mo enye ne sasen se obaji bibia ata na ni ase ene ye betimi aye ene ye betimi aye wa bre nei enkwada ne nuane kura de be ma o madie awo senior high schools ahodo no mo eya akwa adwene ede ama eye abatan no Openi Raphael Gapsona wono na Parents Teacher Association of Ghana waye General Secretary dano eno ne Sompa FM nsɛmkyerɛfo di nkɔma wo ma de sredi nyina sɛ free SHS ni ade papa ne mum o how ene atete ni atepu ye wo mu sese no sa ba betimi a wo ma kwan na sɛ mwa bi no mu hia entempara mo mfankɔ sense ade ne bagye agukura na ma nkwada no mu hu so mo kwata anase wono mo ekɔ adwa wo ngoma sua mu.
The answer will be no. Is it compulsory? The answer will be no. Is it available to all? The answer is no. Because no man I compulsory no, and no man I available to all no. A challenge man abai. And now to answer also secondary education in its different forms. Secondary education, including technical and vocational education, shall be made generally available and accessible to all by every appropriate means. Every appropriate means means that the abide by and answer stakeholders in education, could PTS, teacher for all those who matter, any civil society organization, or more matter emotions in school named DSM, or they have to support. And in particular, by the progressive introduction of what? Free education. I say progressive introduction. It is a quite holistic, na am your problems, sir. And I say, best answer to us in the ashe. Baby, who say a hard drink a crown. Near the table, no near the home come. Oh, way no. Do baby. Ya ho de nso no said ntem o aban ane de ya hwa ya ofo ebetima som timunja ma ene nsom na yeso enkwan be fa so ade aboa mpanyimfo bu ba bi se o yo hene na sebe anje na wudi no se doma omo no etikuru no mo so mutufo na wunti a ha adwen ti do be a aban hye ni bi on ma emboaye because the way review na ye kan wan asem sesi na ye kan wan asem media for any important issue among fan beto pono so and discuss it. But better na aban se meye, better o aban se me ka se meye. Me fa bibia but ye hwa bibia na aban se wa fa no. Ye hu se ye tiwo bibia no awfo boka e won kwara no school share won. To the can say sa ansem na ye kan e gina aban so na ye de ka sa ansem. Because aban ama PTS no kwa ya ho den a ye de bo schools no aba from pa. Eduane nsam ne na sefo no. Sometimes say eduane short to schools no. Enya na asem but those days na PTS near very strong no. Say eduane nsam crying ko ya na bibi wo school no ma. Aban so de panel ni mani menya mba ya. School management no authority ntimi ni PTA focus na e release e sika ni bi e di aso ase. Onte wo mfra makra wa ponte.
Nti we ya batan no a wo mo emma ne wo mo nananom wo ye senior high school sahudo mu wo mo nkabo mu ko kane tete wo no ye PT no ene no makabo ma ye ne kakraka ene ye friend Council of Parents Teacher Association of Ghana Openi Raphael Gapson ene hwechi se twotwofo pani edemaku no
na ene da dua wa bra o ma Ghana photo sanfo kenka budget ni wie ya pa no ena dom kuma wo mo ma Ghana ma hye fie wo so France emtwofo ereto mo no anim sa hwe mo mra ye won sam ka budget no a ye rake no frata ba kenka me kire media review no wo hwe mo pa no ansam ewu mo kire kurei esere sompa ya bro nsen ye etesue na se wo hwe mpa no ane won ma hunu ne ne won ma so ate e kirem sa ban no afa kwati kwan bi so akotwa sika yes can ye 22 billion Ghana cedis a eno kura pono Bank of Ghana kwan ye won fa so le tia Ghana mra ye nani kine ye e wo se dum kuma no won mo sore
has happened at the Bank of Ghana. I just had a copy of the document itself, only to realize that between January 2021 2022 January 2022 and June 2022, the minister responsible for finance and the government has gone to the Bank of Ghana and they have encouraged the Bank of Ghana to print money worth 22 billion Ghana cedis. They have printed 22 billion Ghana cedis fresh money without the knowledge of Parliament. Colleagues, I am saddened. No wonder inflation is galloping. No wonder that our reserves position is dwindling. Because when you create a new money out of the thin air, what happens is that inflation will go up. And obviously, again, because it's a new money, you will end up losing your reserves because there will be new consumption. I am surprised that in the minister's statement, he failed to alert all of us that he has encouraged the Bank of Ghana to print new money worth 22 billion Ghana cedis, only for us to see it in this document. And you can see it in the media review document, page 97, appendix 2A. And the Bank of Ghana, they have printed 22 billion and 48 million Ghana cedis. 22 billion and 48 million Ghana cedis, new money that they have printed without approval of Parliament, without informing all of us. This is illegal. It is against the Bank of Ghana Act. And I want to urge the governor of the Central Bank that he has engaged in an illegality, gross illegality. And in future, if he's asked to print money, he should first come to Parliament first before he acts. In the meantime, I'm surprised that our minister responsible for finance failed to talk about it. So what he did today, the nullity. He should come back again and deliver a new media review, because this is material. It is, in fact, perversive for a minister to omit the fact that they have taken 22 billion Ghana cedis from the central bank is perversive. I cannot accept it. It is scandalous, and he should have at least, as part of his statement, mentioned to us. Apparently, it is hidden in the appendix 3A. So if you do not have an eye or you don't have a spectacle like I have, then it means you will see it. Appendix 2A. I am saddened. No wonder inflation is going to the roof. If this trend continues, I won't be surprised that we'll end the year with inflation of 50%. If this trend continues, we may end up ending the year with inflation of about 50%. And we'll end up depleting the entire foreign reserves of our country to the extent that a time will come, we may not end up getting money to take care of our major imports, such as petroleum products and medicine. Let me end by saying that it is not only wrong, but it shows that this government is grossly incompetent. That at the time that investor community has lost hope in your economy, you don't do monetary financing. You don't do monetary financing because one thing that the NDC successfully removed in the year 2016 was the fact that we removed what we call fiscal dominance. Today, fiscal dominance is back in style. It's back with jacket. It's back in a way that is not acceptable. Ghana is in deep shit. Excuse my language. Things fall apart.
Na enwachi no na deputy majority leader onmanyafo Alexander Afenyo Markin so kire sere we munyina hoya na ekum wo mu 11 no aban no de ba ye no a anya won ma pension ti eno mubu apa wo yesa
as to what is using the appropriation for, and this is what he came to do. So in simple terms, the minister did not come to seek parliamentary approval. He already has that approval, and every expenditure he's making is within that threshold. So you realize that even in the contribution of Honorable Haruna Idrisu, he did not attack the minister on any possible unconstitutional conduct because the minister was well fortified by the provisions of the constitution. So again, anybody who may attempt to suggest that there was a requirement for a motion to be moved may be in error. I would proceed with these veritable words as relied on by the Minister of Finance at page 43 of this 53-page address. This is what he says per paragraph 82. We concede that times are hard and things are not what we desire, but we believe in the overcoming spirit of the Ghanaian people, a spirit that does not cower in the face of challenges. It is this spirit that inspires us as a government to provide the leadership that is required. All of us know, as a matter of fact, that the MPP government, upon assumption of office, took immediate steps to implement without delay every single social intervention program it promised while in opposition. In doing so, government did not even attempt to increase taxation. Rather, government reviewed the taxation we inherited from the NDC government, review in terms of some of them being reviewed downwards and some being repealed completely. And in fact, for emphasis, the e-levy is the first major fiscal policy in terms of taxation that government introduced. The first major. Of course, somebody may talk about the pollution levy and all that. Those are minor levies. But I'm saying that a major levy that was introduced to address some fiscal challenges was the e-levy. Again, it is of importance for all of us to remember that when the NDC was in office, Ghanaians cried on the NDC government for a reduction in electricity tariffs. This the NDC government, it could not do. But when the MPP government under Nana Akufo-Addo assumed office, without increasing taxes, electricity tariffs were reduced between 17 to 30%. Household enjoyed rebates, corporate enjoyed rebates, bulk purchases or bulk users also enjoy rebates. These are facts that any person who does not even like this government at all can attest to. So it's a matter of fact. Now let's deal with the macroeconomic indicators. Without even going specific, we know that 2017, 18, 19, this country was enjoying a steady growth. We even achieved a single-digit inflation. Then, of course, the COVID-19 struck, which took us all by surprise. And not only this country, the world over.
Near turning K, a deputy majority leader, your Magana Rasha Fee, Yera Alexander Afenyo Markin.
I was for a guso, some panente teleponton from your renuncia Cassian and son of Bia will be an igusua. Yade Emma Mostai, Bia Benisauti, also in Abonte, some 98.9 from Yanko Manaso, near Kudin Komoka Crane, and son of Sofo Casanon and Tuchas, so you know, Iraq and Friata, at the media budget review, never to Jamra Silvia. Near Tissy, animal mane, Yaman. Bin Momaria nursing training colleges outdoor. Young post to a momunya jumanya, Ben Fiemi and Senior Titifino, Akugu Parliament Onomo, Nikusi Seni, Yenia Banana Yawa, Manos Yenin couldn't come on. Nanama Joy.
Major show, Bema.
Na Ecosi Seni, and Maya Nemranti, Ecosi can say picketing, Womuya Ecosi say.
My menda was in near Quenya, Wadi Amami and Numre, Senia, Wadi Kanya Church, Musa, and Ne, and that's if 4 be more 1 more year school. Now, so 1 more Jumanya, ye, no mutifia, Domubedia, Diamawam. Na, and never move a one, Rasebegafia, no one would say, 1 man shut down more bidding, set Onipasumasi, and I entina yeba. Nemo more, my said, dear, and no more debatum penny 4, and canka parliament. One more can be a woman, say, a banshee, no more baby, and yet you must say, ye bear. Woman so woman sa ever call woman. Now, many are saying, you wouldn't say, I said, do my dear no etiano. A brown Becca Modoma, and you say, to John, a dear director of public affairs. Wajin Kratano, and said Yamia Dumois, or the Becca to Speaker of Parliament, Urban Kingsford Bagman, and him now leadership of Parliament, Omat Nasi, Asher, and Shishaya, and Nasa Quaya, and nay, a Bible to me, Abwa, San Nesifway, now Omonso, Omatimiania baby, Aya Juma, now Omonsa, at me, a Comano.
Nana yada se pa nti ebedi akire ne ebefra to bia no wa mayaso ate yenua ba nana ya ne yekọ ne nchemra se oje fiem no a ene ye ma ne yenua no nkuma nesese a o ma akwa akọje ntete mfiem yense ne etitifie a o munya adwuma nyeye ko mu kogu mra se oje fiem no mo ene yenua ba no boy amane na o mo de nsem kakra tudwa yenkotie wo mu.
We can't stay in the house anymore whilst our knowledge, our skills are wearing off. Please, we are begging you, the government, we are begging you, the Ministry of Finance, we are begging you, the Ministry of Health. Why are you doing this to us? Look at us now. We are having children. We are having...
Please, I have 3 children. And I've assured my children that if they post me, I'll bring them to Accra so that they'll stay with me. Last time I went to Kumasi, they were asking me, Ma, why is it that you are not taking us? And I said, oh, the government has not yet processed us. So I'm pleading with the government. He should post us so that I'll go and take my children and they'll live with me. I plead with the government to post us so that I'll pick my children so that they'll get father and mother care with us. I beg the government.
See, this is the person's thing. See here. Ah, ya bro. That we are talking about, every year you have to renew it, and it's 55 Ghana cedis. So whilst we are home, how do you want us to renew our PIN? This is the PIN. This shows that we passed the licential exams. And so why are you doing this to us? We beg all of you, the politicians, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, to help us so that we start work. I guess we we should be at the field as nurses that we are working. Because now our skills is, the skills is even no more there. Why?
We'll go to the start prostitution before they post us.
I was on phone to a nurse for near to or more brofono, Nina, Nibria, or more edicogum, Raswig, and na come here, the Musa Papa Cano Friata, answer no Bacco King can budget no, then Kubiti or Massamonsa, then so Janning in Muno, Raswig of Simon Penning for you, Moncratanwa, almost so mobile Bia, I was in Cratan Cucurubiano, Ebequa could rear some bo, Sassemi, Yanikuchi, we say Unatia Santemo, Idiot in the before to Biano, Insisimason, Ewo.
Now, so some Korea one or some Packers here and a penny pa. Yeah, but a pedium and someone one or so abinimu, or a Martin or Poco Setre, Edim Como, and what has already had your bro was rada. And Cabra, when you cried the more than papa, young Kenny Quansan Kitchi, a banner of bois, a father Jumans and someone said nay, a Rassiaman sending a net and penton called Sutra draw, a fancy some near day, and no naka will be a map by no name. Wababa zero crash, ya want me fetch me for, I'm a nessy for, and so should be.
I say realistic na ehu se nipa na ye fa omo sei na ebetimi ye twa omo sika no so ba ye de fa omo sei se ye beka to na abeto dwa na obi demand se wo kan se obefa we num wo kan se obefa number of these workers ye nya hu hwe na bibia sa de ye beka se eye tetedie ya na mo ye tena se plan ne niema na ye the stakeholders ni na ba mi ehu se afi help for sei na ebetimi fa omo yi awefo e na ye fa omo teachers say na ye na say our budget ma we say we work towards that e betima ye adwuma say ebia ye dia beshem na akoye ho na we say ye na so for 2001 na say ye ne ma bebre mi wan so akomasike ya yenya ya eno wan so na ye dey fa ye workers enti ye pam ye quote na according to your material ye wo eno na boa ma ye ho atoye say ya ye mu die media budget die me expect bibia ye be different bia because wo hwe IMF niema beba na adwumayefo nso 15% wonya ye dia meka se ni am expect ni se wo se nhihye a aban ni adwumayefo wo a wagi ho agita ho asie a aban no yawe Minister of Employment and Labor Relations yawe most of the unions no so yawe ebesre se ontimi nye ni nyina akora o meet o mo halfway na afi yakatuasem single spine no ho nsem a na ye ka no o mo nwini ho biem isa se ne beboy workers papa fair wages and salary commission and sem bebra beto o mo pono so o mo modern se o bedi ho djuma aboa workers na ama yakoye nim ensam no ye ka ye bebre na nso o mo anim
I was off away a year or a Martin or Poco Setre. One or Bana Pedium and Samoa Wabemu, and now one of some Pacasia and so Eddie Sancomu.
I was off for a Gusua, some parent 3.1 FM, Numen, Siacasian and Sanabia Wubiano, Igusua, a day, a mamma style beer bino, Yacasi, Fitikutan and Waja Fifi Monteno, of course, you know, Bontenswa, some parent 98.9 FM, some parent 98.9 FM. My gentleman, Susie, first year where Facebook junction, so some parent 3.1 FM, Sompa 93.1 FM. My gentleman, Susie, or the Biabia Honoma Yugusu. Ye beka senema mone beken kan ede amamo yento so egusua de mu amrase jefie mu hono manager obofo ne ye de nam ho apaso ye de mo ekodom kuma na tena ye sane mu nyina ye mo ne musam de dano na no kwesi de ya etwe manura kwesi yi ene ne ye mfie du pepepa ba ma wotri modemfo a wada ne kontonko wi a oda mansan komo osisifo patapafo a one ne di agro de ne nse du tabiri ni opetu ni ope de ne nse nyunyu koto papa tamerese so ofre ni kwaja woto de bie so ema ye brother B soon the nyasem keto akramanfo busae say ye di asem kese ne si wo seche jamasi enu ntentumpa nei ya ye de nsom na asre hu say ye ene ye brabo okremu ne nyasem keto evzani ehu bida sama mpani pa wote akonya so ba ma wo betabri na kosa mfie dunia nra enu ntempanifo kwasumgie park ya ho na papai ye kokora no emane ne kobompa ye nom kodi ne ho adanse a na sa asumgie park ya ye kan wansemi ansa na nakosia da ne beba no na ho manso furu no manso a ne ya twenya asem ketwa kokoi do ho ginafa and NDC amanyɔkuo no gyina fa ɛna papa tamale sebusua egyina fa ɛna asa Biden ne ho twim as wɔn fa ne ho ntwim wɔn no so no agyim gyene wɔn nam mfimfin saa ne nyinaa yɛ sa asomdwe park wɔnom no abusuafoɔ no sɛ papa atamale sine mu no mperinfoɔ kotu afiri hɔ na wɔn ntwom baabi wɔn de akwakoto kokoi do ho so sɛ funu yɛn kotu yi NDC foɔ so sɛ dabi mo kotu kyɛ man so prekesene na nyina mu no na yɛ sa akwakosi sɛ ɔsɛ kwasi ada ne ba na papa ne yɛ kwasi na demonyam hyɛ ne mu no ɛne ɛse ne nana mperinfoɔ ayɛ no saa papa na wawuo no kra amfoni di amɔ ho ampani akufo ne di kɔbɔ ho wɔne koko ayidu ho efunu no mdi ne din kɔbɔ ho saa ejandi si amanyɔkuo aba bonten kyerɛ sɛ wɔn mpani to mpani no abia adeɛ ne sa aban se wɔyɛ ɛde ɛhyɛ papa tamere se ɔfɛ ne ikɔgya wɔtɔ de abien na demonyam de a ɔmfɔ ne din kɔbɔ adeɛ no ho ɔmfɔ ne din nkɔbɔ ho ha na disu ne nsɛm nie.
But we want his name to be honored because he deserves honor. We know that God has honored him. But our disappointment is those of you who have had the opportunity to visit Asungwe Park. The bust of him, if you have doubt, go and visit President Nkrumah's museum. You see his bust. It says Kwame Nkrumah, 1909 as he lived till when he passed on. If you go to that of John Evans Atta Mills, our respected president, beneath the bust is not his name. It is that unveiled by Nana Addo-Dankwa. That is not Mills's name, Professor Mill's name. That is not his name. And we find that incredibly unacceptable and offensive. President Nana Addo-Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his associates such as Kweku Ayido to do what is right and appropriate and to remind them that the office of the former president is an institutional office. It goes beyond the persona of John Evans Atta Mills. So long as our democracy endures, we will produce former presidents of our government. But we want his name to be honored because he deserves honor. We know that God has honored him. But our disappointment is those of you who have had the opportunity to visit Asungwe Park.
Abusuya wa yamraswe dwani obo mraswe jefie ma deso mo tamale south abaton pesuase yewra Haruna Idrisu Adam kuma o mraswe jefie msese no na ye kandifa woda no nto mo kire se papa tamale se nano a mampani na nado danko akufo de na bai akwa akoto so no eyefunu nti be ye o mo fa papa ne din kɔbɔ ho senso mo de akufo ado din ene bebia saade no ho ho abusuya fo asemi ye de simfensi ne tutu akwa akɔkyiri tutu kɔkyiri ye be sa akoso.
Anumeno siaka siya bona busia foma sogo so amutie aya Sompa 93.1 FM. Woko sunya so aya Sompa 98.9. Yeni anma one so afa kasebo live amade hyen motie bi. Ye konsem foforo mo na won monya fo Benito wusu bio. Wono yo so fo be de che ya ohwe sase ne obode bobere so. Na bape wono akroye woko atwoma nwabiaja north abotom peso so a. Wona saye mrahye dwani wo no wo kire se wo ba se na de hye se wedi adwobrɛw. Ewom se won mo sukwan ho ache won ma bra papa na so ni nyina amuo no wogusu a ye na famu de am ne meka sei wokɔbɔ kanche ene adankwa amene nkronkro ahodo ye atwa won mo hia enkakran aban ne gusu a woye na famu de bi ede aboa na wabra ne wone adehye binum tu mpasa e wo honom a won kɔhwɛ ye sene contractors ahodo a won wo kwan no so ahyase ayi adwuma fa no ensem sei ene won de tudwa
ensio no ama ye ekwan ni bebre ya no mpusu ye no awohoro eko enu ama portals kakra abakwan ni na yentimi nkasi ye chen kopem se emre contractor for ne beba ansana yetili SSC so kakra ama eye ekumu etimi asoso wo hwe bokante ede eko eye ekupon ya they say any young boy quite none for ho for ho nipa ka bedre fa ho adani empokra adani eye highway kra nesa enunti we die eye sene be free ko mo so mo nya tuwade na ye siesie so eye bukanti die contractor no ye nim se o eye bukanti wa wo ye eye bridges ni ade wo no bridge ne so obeba na wa be ye fail no wa to aso enti we dia ye siesie kakra se dia be ya nso na atike ne dia ye betimi ayusu na ye kama saso na eye adankwa me ede koka pro na so ho so ye di eye latrite libre over 30 trips akogu wono ma eno so ye di ba be ya fail mo so na kwan no aye kama we ene anu anu no ye gusu aban so ne contractor for na kasa se enche aban be bibia mo na o ma tini aba abeto afan
Enwachi no ana abanam senior wono so watwema nwabiaja North Mansini mu wonmonya for Rebecca Yeboa enso de nsembi etoaso
omunya komatoyem ene nya men charge me MP oni me nyina di etia ko benkro mu se kwan no ye fele potholes no kaka sabe ya ye betimenya access road to our various homes into the make ye chop and be petimamfo omunya komatoyem mayen na madam one member of parliament so ase sabe better on polity na on so tie ne mind for so na ene machine si kwan so na fe so anyaba kwan so a potholes no nya men charge ye fele nim se yakopon ya do ma kwan no besa tutu bi ono de na contractors no o ma ba kwan no swat na o mo so timo fa na o ma dwempa a o mo di DMP tabeche no o mo pa ba
I was for way a year when Monya for Rebecca Yeboa by Crutch Penina wono ewo ayatwema nwabiaja North Mansini mu na wono wie ya pɛ no me ko bi man ka bi de na ese wan kwakora nka so Yera Abdul Salam Isa Alhaji wono so aye NPP chairman de ma atwema nwabiaja North abato mpeso no wono so gina ne mafo nim ekasai
ya kwane ne kwenya mi enim ni ya word ya ma contractor wa be first we serious diken ka se ya first we ya yewi nanso na kwan no ada hwa ma ye twense contractor be ban ne china still now ehu contractor ana kwan so se ya na say ko intina nsusu gina mu dendeni ana to ye ni taxi driver sia ya na ye se omun kwan se ye ni mp be to aso akasa to se wono so betina ye bibia pa kwan the mp ba na ni sia na o se so cancel contract and be so a and the better kakra na sa na tie dia and the ono ade ne botum sika boye na ye di assisi kwan so and the din kan o ma ko to feeling lot right ye di ya to feeling more than 100 trips and the dia gu kwan so I see and dey ye di grade aba o grade so na amna na da kwan so nya na wa feel so kama e wi no so na ye di issue agugu so na rule abefo no wa rule kwan na akim di se futa pepepe na ebasa mejiri se ye manfo betimi ayusu kwan na ma anigi abakaka enye akurufon to bukanche kwa the same ayina ye no from Kapon to Adankwa na mejiri se akurufon for anigi ayo ha na me get trust da be se anigi ayo ha trese kwan na ye no eyade a komoda esum
Onimonya for Abdul Salam Isa Alhaji aye atwema nwabiaja North abato mpaso so NPP amanyoko ni chitineni
Awuzafo ye gusu ade mu NPP amanyoko no na nanu ya we kra de na wochi etwemu na wosono koguko NPP amanyoko na twan ni esi anyinfo ekoto aba wa Accra Sports Stadium a wo ekoyi mpanimfo betu amanyoko na no ahwaye ntutu ye se beye na amanyoko no befa na ya pese ne na de gedon papa bi efra eyi atia konkunimdie mu 2024 elections no Ghana ma de ye lazy ebutu amiemu akwakoto no ne kowie ye no na ora Justin Kodia Frimpon a dodo na sarma ne se Justin Kodia ana se GFK eno mato abayi ne se chochofo pani e de mo sunu kokoko MPP amanyuku no na enena busua ne papa nimpon ni bibia no ba ene Justin Kodua Frimpong lawyer Fred Ohene Frimpong edi animu ekoda twede amponyankrompa ase ewo Church of Pentecost asafumu ewo nsuta seche central abato mpesua so omo kogina omo ba omo nana omo de nyina Justin Kodua namu ede aseda koma oba de na hona ne papa esre se bebi ampipi amanjoko na ba begina sese no ewom sa kandi fofofro na aba edom ni nyina nkamom se yafrukrom ade no monta omachi se beye na nkunimdie kese ne beba 2024 elections ni mu
ti se nyina yen kabom senya Babua Ghana mine Nabwa Asante mine na ama yakoso nti asemti tia America no pay me by when make aside no say Moko retreat me papa mo no omo nyina baba oni ntimi na o samba na aba be ni yas nti mo anse asira ne papa nyame nyonyame nyina ya media ye nyina so ya fa ontu ya ho ntu nyame so eno ko anya obetima ye na obia ye bi ye yi si da ne on jase nsem no ekoso nyina na ka jata da nya botre because me identify myself with the grassroots. And so a grassroots man. And she said, no, Obedi party secretary. The real Fino Honda. The real Fino grassroots man or Peter Senior Bema party no and Docoso. She say you pass through very bad times, very turbulent times. But I know say Nyankopono is control. Then you never see I don't know. Yama Bedane. Ama Ghana pardon a funding to my friend. See a bomb fire some opposition for your bomb fire Obia in Ghana and they are very important. Make a just
I was young to wear Justin Kodua from Pone Papa lawyer Fred Ohene from Pone Yetene Kanodia Busianing na and nimtis all kind of Facebook obon se papa to tun to my fita Nabusia phoning in our sonom and to my fo sa Ojum se required no much in blue and it down Nijaba Busianim or say Busian Monyam na in Suta District Pentecost of Pastor Francis a year Nyakukum sing as so de Cacras also.
They said David Yakwalapa for experience was in a pork. Nanso na nyame asiesie na osreso na no akwara no obedi nkunimoma nkunimdi aye oman ni nyina dia anyo no nko ade na busua nko ati yenim se yemai nyoma wo mumu ye mo nkwan ni ye mo ntete papa yi a oba obeye akyede ama oman no nse se de mpani on nkwala nso ho nkwala na nyame adom de abedom yen nyo oman mu ne ye nyina no ye hu se nyoma wo mumu ye mo kwan a obetimi abeye nea pelifon so tumi ye ne hia ye mpa ne se Bible say nyansan mfi ase ne nyamesuro ye mfa nyamesuro ntete ye mei se nyamesuro tete won yi a obenyi abeye neoma ye mpenfo kwa ye ntumi anye ne yete ho a ne ada nyame ase ewo ye mei ho timi de mogide o mabunum no ogide o mofra mu pa se nyame betimi de aye neoma akese akese se ye hwe David die ya emre so nyame de binum beye ama achen so kra ne nyina ne se ne hia ne se ntete a de ma on enye nyamesuro no okọ ho a wande ehwam.
I was going to wear lawyer Justin Kodua from Pons say where church of open the most no go kan pipi amanyo kuna busia aseda omde koma twede amponya nkrompo won suta bontenso ana na Pentecost asafo penimpa won suta na ono so de kakra so no.
I was here for year kwa umano so na ye ne amane boni Eric Asarmofi akwakodi nkomo na na sentam ye bo amane free empowerment number 1 sa ejana bia na nanan mahemfo ne mpanyifo ahodro bia One can be a woman who could see one chain. Nanti be by ya, sir, Crocom for say 1 mark quine. And will be uncle Shua because Ubu at the year, or Pessoa Batina Janana Sunogiska. Now some the buyer no yanka, sir. Yane Chronocom for the chunk more. And man, and I years to Tira Sanyano credit beer down, cry one cabby be asa, and Zenipa binum. A person one more cast on some good sure, and were Bershana Babia. A mamma near Mania Dano, one much made a new ma out of 2 years. Now, what a bit of 7 and it's man quine in Fiesa, hey, one soon some way. Now one shan't to your ma. Young Quarian what ye, Babia and na Samno, Aquaco drew. Murphy Madre.
Yeah, Nacosia.
You, and what do some man quine one, a dear 7 o'clock so.
I was a good man quine him Fiono. Anototia, any anababaye, a course. Ebra na assembly member and I'm not so man some gentle betina see na okonfo a no so asese nko pe nipa emoja na ode atwa so no so ebetena ase nkrobo mu no okonfo no kire mu se wono de ensem a ekoso ewo kasafonyini ni kasa fidi ahodo nyina so no enye no kwesa ne mum ebosire mu ka bi na eye assembly member owo ampaba me number 1 e de ato no so eno nti oje mpatade e de free eye assembly member no so it me approve beyond doubt say ye maame a oye konfoba no a brebi atwa mu be on the 8th of July obetna Sompa kasafonyini ne kasafidie so no oprovitre say no kwasam say ensem bi wo a okaye na empo kwan na wama enka no aye krado say eye ne friend audio ana say ensem bi okaye a wotiri gu mu maso no enka ode betudwa na so mpanyifo say ahwene ete wo mpanyifo ani mu a ya na netase ne yetasena eno nti o ma no o se ne say onti ampata sika bi aye enei sika no 1500 Ghana cedis ana say sika no 15 million say on fama mpanyifo e watena se a otena ye ne nsikubo a oboye no ho eno ti o se assemblyman ne say onko pe nyema bi a akono na efata ne se no fa empata ye maame a oye konfuba no esan se mpanyifo ani no susu se ensem no entwe yi eno nti de ko wie e wo somankwa hene anfi enne a mede akiri no eno no akosia
Koba ne sa no nyambia assembly member wono so kasai na wo ma no kwan ma ne kyerɛkyerɛ mu sa asɛm no woni fo wo ho ana
akosia no na medi ka kan ye no kame se baabi wo ho a woduru ho a ya na ya ka wo kasa boa sa wo yam kakra eno nti de wonim nya wo pesa wo ka no ya ye manim pie enti assembly member no ne nsem bebre wo ho a no kwasem nie wantumi amfa antudwa na ye wie no a ye ni di nkomo no se minka ha mani a utumi wo se super pa na ehini papa no sanse nanka o nsem bebre eka empo nanka woni mebi edi adanse a etresenka eye ye maame konfubei no okaye ana o yese o de behunehuna ampa ba mefo nanso ya ma nanka senti no wantumi anasa ne nyina no edi
na 1005 ya yetete ho asɛm no anyambia na kyerɛ sɛ yankasa wadaroma
akosi 1500 Ghana cedis no ye important ase no sabi abrensu ye fantonsu nom enti nananom atena se sɛ yebɛkɔ sɛ bɛba yebɛkasa ye minimum bɛwi efantase ye tonsu na ye nom ɛno ho sika no
Jina so kakrama me abusuafo munya hu asɛm yi a ye kan yi ankasa no momro in Facebook where Sompa 93.1 Sompa 93.1 na momro de ejana bia we na nonsentam ye kan ho asɛm efri ampa me number 1 sɛ nananmayemfo ene mpanyifo ahodo bi asiasi hɔ yankia wo sɛ mabunu ne nkokora ne merewa wo bia akɔso na agye omkɔgye omunan ene bɛda adwa sɛ krokonfo se wo makwan emo bia nkɔso adayi a obi kɔso a obi bewu asɛm ne ba ne krokonfo twetwe nkɔmɔ ɛyɛ sɛ wakoto ma ne kyerɛ mu sɛ ntesa wanka ne ba bia saa asɛm ne nana akɔpie mu osumankwa hene wɔn mu a yɛne mo fi edi ho nkɔmɔ ne tibra Facebook na wo so ba behwɛ bi mo fi wabra wɔn mo ka asɛm ne wie osumankwa hene ne de obɛka atu dwa kyerɛ sɛ wɔn kɔpɛ sika anasɛ nneɛma bi a akɔnɔ na yɛde ma ɛyɛ yemfa ma konfo yi anyambia konfo no na nani agye ɔso asɛm ne mu sɛ
akosia no kwasɛ meka me ayɛ sɛ obi a menka se yɛbu ne bem deɛ nanso obi a yɛasrɛ sɛ yɛnye mpatasika na sɛ mpatadeɛ ma no deɛ na asanta memre mu bɛka sɛ bi a wayɛ nkunimdifo ano no nanso no kwasɛm ne sɛ wode w'ani ɛɛto a fɔm pɔtee na wahwɛ nsɛm no mu a wobɛhunu sɛ nyɛ mpatasika pɔtee na yɛgye ama no ne mmom ayɛ sɛ sɛdeɛ sɛ sɛ bia kɔntɔ nananom ɛne wɔn amammerɛ no yɛmpɛ sɛ yɛbɛtiatia so anaa yɛbɛgu ho efi ɛno nti na wɔ sɛ mpatasika bi ɛkɔ anaa mpatadeɛ bi ɛde kɔma no ɛno nti ɔno kɔmfɔ nankasa koraa no wantere biribiara sɛ n'ani agye anaasɛ ne werɛ aho na mmom ɛka me ayɛ sɛ nea aba no no ɛno nti na wɔ sɛ ɔdi soɔ no no nti mɛka no saa sɛ na n'ani agye sɛ na ne werɛ ahoɔ no deɛ nokwasɛm ni wohunu saa wɔ n'anim
enti mofi na kyerɛ sɛ wei no asɛm no atwa anaa berɛ pamuo no wɔn basan so afra asɛm no biem na wɔn matera ase amankasa ma obi abɔ ne nkuro
miri aba asɛm no nkyaaeɛ sɛnea mede ka de to dwa no wama ho kwan sɛ wɔnyi asɛm no nkɔ fie no wɔnkɔ siesie na mmom no sɛ ama ka deɛ a ɛbɛsan sa n'akyi aba nana somankwa ahene anim ɛsiane sɛ wantumi ansi asɛm no agyinapoe bia wantumi ansi no agyinapoe bia ne mu ɔma ho kwan sɛ sɛde akoma ahuri akoduro no yɛmpata sɛde bɛyɛ akoma bɛba fam na wɔnkɔtena se nka asɛm no na ɔmfa yie ɛntɔ yie ne mmom sɛ amaka deɛ a na ɛsan akɔ ne nti akɔ yɛna nasomankɔ ahene anim ama mpanyinfoɔ de nsɛm no ato sɛ neɛ fata nti sɛ me ne wokasa yi deɛ nana ama ho kwan sɛ yɛnyi nsɛm no nkɔ fie na yɛnkɔ siesie asɛm no ɛwɔ fie
Murphy yɛbɛde wase why abusuafo wai aye yamane boni Murphy asɔre Eric ɛna yɛte ne nka no na da dua di akɔsoɔ ɛwɔ ɛyɛ sumankwan hɔ no ɛna wabɔ mu enchimu
abusuafo ye guso Sompa 93.1 FM enwumre no nsia kase yenkenka madwenche kakra mode aba emfa emmamo yenko Facebook no so na fe madwenche no mu nsusue no mamode aba Sompa 93.1 FM yenkenkan emfa emmamo yenkosro na yenhya se mfiri soro hono mo keke kasoa AK hawakum sem ba God bless Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ene Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bami ya mama mu no na policies ni good wono so ne de no keke kaswa kro no a kusi Bismarck Eugenia Ousu Ansa 80 was a show live from Nigeria, Lagos. Yo, Matieti, chia Father Mamwate, Yabusiafo ni nyina, osi me channel call and you Dr. Babazamu, Master Planner Kentampo, or said the mid-year budget review no, Yamienum ye, Ameni da so, Amaya Hontoso, Sesikasem, Ebetutu to ye, we a Master Planner, Dr. Babazamu, no so ne dear, and on Yankuenim kakra, Frederick. Mystical Sciatica Warrior 21st Clinic so enjoy news no pa so you na se mu dem kre on Tatis mine no so here live Amekom Kumase was a fantastic news show by all standard yo yeda se pa Amisco Spelele aka Hawatwa so was the media budget review no e de ni da so aba na mampani na Danko Akufo-Addo no more than ase keke kaswa sa de aba no bio yanko enim na teacher constitution we was Ghana for enya botre kakra ema mampani na Danko Akufo-Addo na nyamienim ene bonsamati konema betuto ye pa was ndisi amanyo kondie ene kwansi ye tete wo mu wo monye option kra mampani na Danko Akufo-Addo niema bekoye Bullet Anthony was very sad about today's budget live from Bullet Fashion Center sa na beba Bullet Pasolo Obuasi Kwabnakwa or say the news is live and clear at Obuasi East U and ye mama Joati minua ba kosia munchia ne mame oyibo boati atwuma na ebehi or say ye denyankopon ase say rotoyi ese babio ne kakwa ne nke nam so sa akwa rotoyi ensa mra na yilevi kura na amwai oyibo boati yanko anim Ernest or say donko also enjoy news no pa na yankusua na yemieja no na ose ne nchia enkoma big or say 24-26 enterprise amansie area Kumase yo teacher gujo tepanyinesi so or say there's nothing wrong kuonim kakra na menkenkan teacher gujo tepanyinesi so or say bibie ni honomu a yamfum so semampani na Danko Akufo-Addo abebe na adwene se ombesade tobutu no aba ne kwanso a no yesi ye pen kwan papa afaso a na yesi ne kwanso a eno no teacher kudwonum teacher constitution honorable Abedi kwada sonom munyina mu messages by yemfansi na yenko DJ opadi more munyina mu de bi by edamose aha Filippo no munyina akoso yenko
awusafo ye kwone afase da ema kokuwa Veronica Jando akosia somwano yemagu akire wahene ni ama crunches of mami premeni kwabna kase afia ajewa kode enafe Murphy asare wanu nyina domboai enafe woko MC ahonso so ayi wakiula PK Rocky Rexford Ketchie Godfred enafe so kra nana yawo ni ene David ene nkae nyina ena wonom domboa ma yensem for panyo Ross ante abo Benedict wono so esemu yenso a ene dwo enumre yetena se medin ene akosia aji wakode boaten menimenia
ena ya abo amalibi aboga
Sompa
I was your for the